You've heard of policy committees and you've heard of fiscal committees, but one critical step in the legislative process that many have not heard of is the Rules Committee. So, we spoke with Speaker Jinkins, the chair of the Rules Committee in the House, and Lieutenant Governor Denny Heck, the chair in the Senate, about how it functions and why this committee has historically been shrouded in mystery, earning the reputation as the gatekeeper.
The last committee that every bill stops at before it can move to the floor of the House is the Rules Committee.
The Rules Committee is the committee that schedules all bills for floor action by the entire Senate.
The members who are on that committee get to choose bills that are going to be eligible to be voted on the floor.
They convene in this room. It's the Rules Committee meeting room. And we can take several actions. First of all, there is a gubernatorial appointment calendar that we can place on the floor calendar.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I move that the gubernatorial appointments on the lilac sheet titled Proposed Gubernatorial Package Pull be advanced to the confirmation calendar.
There is a second reading calendar.
Senator Riccelli.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I move that the committee advance 5528 from the white sheet to the second reading calendar.
And then there's something known as a consent calendar.
Senator Peterson moves that the proposed consent calendar package poll on the pink sheet be placed on the consent calendar. All understand the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
On the consent calendar are bills that have no opposition, that fly through unanimously. They're the easy ones. And then the fourth thing that can happen here is that we have what we call polls. And that's simply where we go around the room and each member gets to move that a certain bill be placed on the floor calendar.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Bill 5014 advance from the white sheet to the floor calendar.
There's been a real evolution in the role that the Rules Committee plays over a long period of time. The Rules Committee used to always be referred to, and I mean always, as the all-powerful Rules Committee. And that is because it was a place where lots of bills went to die. All its deliberations were in secret, so lots of things could go on there with no transparency. But today it really functions largely as an administrative entity under the control largely of the majority party to simply schedule things. Not that many bills die on the Rules Committee anymore.
We don't hear any public testimony. We don't have any arguments or debates about bills, and the Rules Committee doesn't adopt amendments or anything like that. Basically, I just call each member by name. They make a motion for what bill they would like pulled. I repeat the motion. I ask all those in favor to say aye. Everyone always says aye. I ask all those in favor to say no. No one ever says no, and we move to the next bill.
The motion is been moved and seconded that House Bill 1616 be placed on the second reading floor calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. The motion carries.
There is kind of an unspoken understanding, I think, in rules that while Republicans may object to a bill that the Democrats pull and vice versa with Republican bills, that objection plays itself out in a floor debate, not in a debate in rules. We don't debate the substance of bills in rules. At least that has not happened since I've been Speaker.
It's all televised, it's all open. In fact, there's quite a bit of pride in the Senate for having opened up the deliberations of the Rules Committee for the world to see.
Currently, in 2025, the House Rules Committee has 24 total members, 15 Democrats and 9 Republicans. In the Senate Rules Committee, there are 17 total members, 11 Democrats and 6 Republicans.
We try to have a diversity of members from different committees there. We have an informal rule that committee chairs cannot sit on the Rules Committee because they have a lot of power in their committee to decide what bills move and what bills don't move. So it tends to be more line members, but coming from a diverse group of committees. All the members of the leadership team are on rules. We don't ever have a Rules Committee meeting unless there are enough Republican bills for every Republican member to have at least one bill that they pull, and every Democratic member to have at least one bill that they pull.
Bills do die in the Rules Committee, and they die there for a variety of reasons. One reason may be that the counterpart bill from the other chamber is already farther along in the process. It may be that the contents of that bill were absorbed in another bill. It may be that it just doesn't have the votes. It could be any of a variety of reasons for it to meet its untimely death in the Rules Committee meeting.
The way you get your bill chosen to be pulled from the Rules Committee is if you identify a Rules Committee member who believes your bill is ready to go to the floor. What generally happens if a member has a bill that's moved into the Rules Committee, then you become, as a member, you become a lobbyist for your bill, right? You're lobbying to try, you're talking to Rules Committee members and saying, would you prioritize my bill as the first bill you pull?
The best way to describe the change in the Rules Committee is it simply functions less powerfully than it once did. Again, it used to be a real stringent gatekeeper, and a lot of measures wouldn't get through it. It's just not so much the case anymore. Gatekeeping now can happen at the actual committee level, the regular policy committees or the fiscal committees, but it also can happen actually on the floor. And what I mean by that is just because a bill gets out of the Rules Committee doesn't mean it gets taken up on the floor for any of a variety of reasons.
Every process we have in the legislature after you file a bill is about narrowing and perfecting the bill. So the committee hearings are intended to get both public input and the input from members to amend the bill, make it better, and improve it along the way. My job is to make sure that we're moving policy that benefits the people of the state of Washington forward. And we do that through policy bills, budgets, and nearly everything we do is focused on just that, helping the people of the state of Washington.